Hi, it's Marcus, and I want to talk to you today about what happens when when a customer wants to take a bottle of wine home. First of all, in the state of New York, Aromatime does not have a license to sell wine retail. We only have what's called an on-premise license, which means we can sell alcohol, wine, beer, and spirits, but it's only for people to consume while they're here at the restaurant. Okay, now that we can do growlers legally to go, which is a growler of beer to go. And that we can give them wine to go, but only if it, here are the stipulations for people taking home a bottle of wine. You have to follow this very carefully because people will do this quite often. When a customer buys a bottle of wine and is drinking it at the table, and when they do not finish the wine, they're allowed to take the rest home, provided they've ordered an entree. That's the key factor. They just can't come in and, order, a small dish and drink a glass of wine and take it home. The way that I understand the law is it reads they have to order an entree. They can consume one glass of wine here, and the rest of the bottle, which is 3/4 of the bottle, can go home with them. So we provide wine doggy bags. Okay, now this is extremely important to follow this. You just can't hand somebody a bottle of wine and say, here you go. You take a wine doggy bag. You have to put the bottle inside. Okay, like that. You take their receipt for dinner. The receipt for dinner to prove that they bought an entree and the date and that they were here. Okay, you drop that in there, just like that. And then there's a white thing up here. This white thing you peel off and pull away, and then you seal the bag. So this is a sealable bag. Okay, so if they get stopped by the police will know that they didn't tear open the bag and they've been drinking on their way home, okay? It goes into a sealable bag that we have to seal here. The receipt's inside, okay? And then I always tell the people to keep it in their trunk, and I understand that's sort of the way the law works. They need to keep it in their trunk, as opposed to having it on their front seat with them. So just explain it to a customer and be very, very explicit. People are going to ask, can I drink, can I take the rest of it home? And the answer is yes, you can, providing that you bought an entree, and we provide you with the right doggy bag and you've had at least one glass. Now, people are also going to ask you if they can bring their own wine into the restaurant. I know a lot of restaurants do this in the state of New York and in New York City, and there's websites built up, and it's called BYOB. BYOB is very, very tricky, okay? First of all, if restaurants that do not have a liquor license, if you get caught doing BYOB in your restaurant that has no liquor license, you will forfeit any future liquor license you can get, not only in New York, but throughout the country. They're going to blacklist you. So this is a really tough subject. Now, I've had several conversations with the liquor authority and through the person who expedites our liquor license. BYOB is really not allowed. If you're an inspector from the liquor authority, they want to come in and see that everything on premises at Aromatime has been purchased through a licensed vendor. So if we have a customer that walks in the door with their own bottle of wine, guess what? I did not purchase that through a licensed vendor. They bought that wherever. So that's not part of the law, okay? A lot of restaurants get away with it. A lot of restaurants do it. But unfortunately, we're going to comply with the law. Now, the liquor authority has told me that, if the wine's available in the state of New York, and you can make sure that it's paid all the proper taxes then, and you get approval from the liquor authority, then you could do it. But that's a 2-day process, and people really don't give you 2 days to do that kind of stuff. Now, here's the big kicker. A lot of people are on vacation in France or California. They go to a small winery, they pick up a bottle of wine, they go, this is going to be a great bottle for my 10th anniversary. And then they call up a restaurant and say, I would like to make a reservation, can I bring my own bottle of wine in? Understand that that bottle has crossed into New York State without paying proper taxes. As a restaurateur, if I am caught with that bottle on my premises, I will lose my license immediately because it has not paid taxes. Taxes are an extremely huge issue for New York State, as in any state, but especially New York State. So they do not tolerate that at all. Now, I personally can't tell the difference between that and a bottle of wine somebody bought down the street, and and when they bought it, or did they buy it in New Jersey. So for us, it's the easiest thing to do just to say, I'm sorry, we do not allow BYOB because we comply with the New York State Liquor Authority, okay? And you really have to leave it at that. They cannot, it cannot happen because we can't take a chance for our liquor license. We fought hard to get our liquor license here because we have a church, right across the street. We fought a lot to get our liquor license, our full liquor license, that is. So please, as you guys being staff, please respect and enforce those laws strictly, because our liquor license is really the key component to us running a successful business here. So to recap this, and I want to say one more thing. No other liquor to go. People can't take the rest of their mojito and stick it in a plastic cup and go. A lot of people think they can do that. Nor can people walk outside the front door with their glass of wine because they've left our premises that we have a liquor license. I can also get in trouble for that. If the police come by and they see that, they can report it to the liquor authority, and then it's a whole mess. So we're only licensed for in the premises of the building. That's the only thing the liquor authority knows, is where we serve alcohol is inside. I'm not allowed to serve out. I don't have a license to serve it outside in the front or in the back yet. So please obey and enforce those laws and explain to customers, it's not part of what we're set up to do with the liquor authority. And I apologize. If you'd like a more explanation, Marcus or Jamie will be happy to explain. Just to recap, we have an on-premise license, which means people can only buy and consume alcohol here, except for when they don't drink the rest of a bottle and they order an entree and you follow the proper procedures, they can take the rest to go. And we can also do growlers of beer. Growlers of beer is a half, they come in all different sizes. We have 64 ounce, which is a half gallon. You put the tap beer in there, you seal it with one of the, you put a top on it, it's a growler. A lot of breweries do that. Even some beer stores actually have growlers. They have a tap line system. So that's very important that you are allowed to do that, and those on our menu, growlers. Those are the only two instances that I personally know where liquor can actually leave the restaurant. So now if a customer calls and starts complaining that, oh, I can do it at any other restaurant, bring a bottle of wine, they can't. I know a lot of restaurants where they absolutely cannot do it. The chefs, the owners are like, no, you can't do it. Now, our biggest argument is we have 250 bottles of wine. I would understand if they were going to a restaurant that had 10 different bottles or 20 different bottles, 30 different bottles, because that's not a big enough selection for most wine drinkers. That's just, it's, limiting themselves, and most of those selections are from bigger houses, bigger brands, and they might have seen them, or they might have, those people might have passed them up in the liquor store because they're mass produced. But we have 250 wines here. We use 15 different wine vendors, at least, small wine vendors, and we hand pick a lot of the things here. Jamie and I personally visit a lot of vineyards, and we meet face to face with the principals. So we have a phenomenal selection for 250 selections on our wine list here. And so really, when you go out to a restaurant and you want to, for me, when I go out, I want to respect the wine list, and I always pick a restaurant that has a good wine list because I want to respect their wine list and drink something different and drink something interesting. That's why people come here. So that defeats the purpose of people bringing in their own wine, besides it not being legally okay. So, thank you very much. Please understand this, and always ID. If you have a question on IDing, please, I'll do another video on IDing, so you can watch that. So thank you very much for understanding our wine and wine liquor policy. Thank you.